Have you ever had difficulty getting up out of the chair where you feel like once you go to get up, you have to push off of your legs to stand up? Or have you ever felt that when you're picking something up from the ground, you feel a lot of stress in your knees or anything else you're doing in daily life? Well, if you have, and if you really want to strengthen your knees, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 exercises to help make that a non-issue for you anymore. Before we get started with your strength, keep in mind there's 3 key areas to have amazing knee health. One of those areas is motor control or alignment, and that's really the most important. We're going to be getting into that next. Second is mobility. That's having the right tissue range of motion to be doing the strength training exercise. And third is the strengthening or stabilization in the aligned position. So today we're going to focus on motor control or alignment and strength. Now, let's get into the 5 exercises that are going to strengthen your knees. First, get into a position of a stride. So that's with one foot in front of the other. Your feet are at about hip width. So before you even step back, your feet are at hip width. And then when you step back just enough to where your back foot's a couple inches, that toe's a couple inches behind the front heel. Now, once you've done that, it's really important to understand for this exercise, most of your weight is on the back leg. Next, anytime we're working on foot alignment, it's best to do it without your shoes on so that your feet can feel the floor and have proper sensory perception, which is the foundation of your knee health. Based on your foot and your ankle alignment and stability will then determine what's happening at your knee. It's really important to have good feet and ankle first. So in the feet, what we're going to do is feel like you're spreading the toes and kind of gripping the floor. You won't see a lot of spread in the toes like you would in fingers, but spread the toes and grip the floor. This is going to make your feet active and nice and strong and create great balance for you. Then what we're going to be focusing on in this exercise is learning where to line up the patella tendon to be in alignment with the foot and the hip. To do that, just know that we're looking to get the patella tendon in line with the second and third toe, which is where I put that little divot in my sock. Then as we ascend your body, you want to have the hip, the knee, and the foot in alignment, which is then determined by having your pelvis neutral or aligned. So you don't want to have your pelvis shifting like this, kind of being out of alignment like that. That causes all kinds of excess stress in the pelvis, in the hip, in the back. What you want is you want your sacrum or tailbone centered. And from the side view, you want to have your pelvis neutral, which means this here. Not excessive back arch, not extreme excessive butt tuck, but nice and neutral. Then an upright posture as you come up. Once you've got all that, you're ready to start this exercise. Weight on the back leg. You're going to keep that foot active, spread toes, grip floor. Go out with the knee, keeping the foot mostly flat on the floor. Then go in with the knee. This is the number 1 position that causes knee strain, dysfunction, and breakdown of the knee, when that knee goes in. So after we go knee in, and this is all light motion, shouldn't feel any pain whatsoever because that pressure's on the back leg, then you come back to find alignment. So it's knee out, knee in while maintaining all those alignment factors I shared with you. And now the knee back to align with the second and third toe in the hip. This first exercise is so important because it's teaching you where is actual knee alignment. And every other exercise you do will be based off of this alignment. But if you don't get the alignment, you don't have the feel first, then you're going to be strength training your knee into a misaligned position. And that is the number 1 reason why people have knee issues, is because they're misaligned. You can do strength training all day long. Doesn't matter which exercise. If you're misaligned, you're going to cause damage and knee pain. Knee out, knee in, and then realign with your knee in that second and third toe. Of course, you would do this exercise on both sides. In other words, both legs or both knees get an opportunity to be in front. with all the body alignment, do about 10 reps each side. On to the next exercise. Your second of 5 exercises is going to get into building your strength and also warming up your muscles for the exercises that come. We're going to walk backwards. Now, putting the knee over the toe, or as you can see here, the knees in front of the toe, puts extra pressure on your knee. And just like strength training, extra pressure can be a good thing if you're in alignment. So with that being said, what you're going to do is you're going to step back and you're going to keep those perfect mechanics as you learned in the stride knee NMR exercise that you did first. Keep in perfect alignment, step back, and as you step back, transfer, the pelvis stays centered, it stays neutral, and then you get back to the next foot. To keep things simple and to make sure you get this perfect, you're doing exactly what you did in the first exercise, except you're not going knee out and knee in. You're just keeping that perfect alignment you trained into your mind on the first exercise while you step backwards. So you're keeping that perfect alignment, keeping the pelvis neutral, keeping your tailbone centered, and you're just stepping backwards. As you get really good at maintaining that alignment while walking backwards, you can apply a band to the back of your hips and use the resistance to strengthen your knees even more. Then once you've got to the end range of motion for that band and your strength, slowly walk back forward until you go to slack in the band, making sure your body stays in great alignment the whole set. Recommended reps and sets as a starting point for this exercise would be 2 sets of 60 seconds. Your third of 5 exercise is going to be a side step up. Now, you've probably become familiar with the whole step ups, like the old Jane Fonda workouts, and that's all fine and dandy, but what's even better for your knee health is to optimize the way you get onto a step from the side, because it really enables you to help focus on that alignment of the first exercise. Because remember, strengthening has everything to do with the position you're strengthening the muscles in. Muscles get strong in the positions you strengthen them in, which you want to be in alignment, because the number one reason for knee dysfunction and pain and issues you might be experiencing is having misalignment. So this exercise, like all exercises, you want to be within alignment. To do that, foot straight, hip, knee, foot, you guessed it, all in alignment. Pelvis, just like that first exercise, neutral, tailbone stays centered, keep good posture. Now here's the tricky part. Maintain all of that while you come up and then control yourself back down. Maintain all of that while you come up and then control yourself back down. In the beginning, you'll start doing this exercise as you saw me do here. Raise up, control your balance, keep alignment, come back down, do 1 rep, 1 rep, 1 rep. Think about it like that. Now, as you start to really get good at that, you can start to do consecutive reps where you maintain your alignment, control down, don't touch the floor all the way, and then come back up. So you're doing your reps consecutively. Remember how important it is to maintain that pelvic alignment and keep the hip, the knee, and the foot all in a straight line. A great starting point for you on this exercise will be 2 sets of 10 reps on each side. Your fourth of 5 exercises is one that many people dread and many people actually damage their knees doing because of, you guessed it, doing it without alignment or doing it in a way that's way too stressful for their knee at the time. Here's what the 4th exercise is. It's a short range of motion lunge. So doing lunges is great for your knees, but you need to do them properly for you and your current capabilities. Doing a lunge to a full range of motion, even if in great alignment, if you don't have the capability, could be horrible for your knees. Although in alignment, way too much pressure for your current tissue tolerance and your strength, which will expose your knees and your tissues to breakdown, excessive fatigue, excessive pressure in joints and tissues, which you don't want. So we're going to need to maintain a great alignment, just like stride knee, matching it off that first exercise again, but you're going to transition from the stride knee position. You're going to maintain hip, knee, and foot in alignment, pelvis neutral, while you transfer the other leg up and forward. So at first, you're just gonna feel like you're walking, focusing heavily on your alignment. Don't even concern about the actual lunge part yet. That's not actually where you want to start a lunge. You start the lunge by optimizing your stride and being able to maintain great alignment while you transfer one foot to the other. Once you've begun to feel like you really have a deep internal attention to the control and alignment of that stride preparatory walking for a lunge, then you begin to listen to your body first, make sure you stay comfortable, and just do tiny little dips, either one or two, and then you continue that same exact transfer process with great alignment. Other foot goes in front, 1 to 2 tiny little dips to your comfort. I can't stress enough how important it is to be to your comfort, and then you step into that next foot forward again. For this exercise, I'll recommend for you to start with about 8 to 10 reps on each side of the lunge for 2 sets. Last, but certainly not least, the 5th exercise, the climax of your knee rebuilding routine, is going to be another one that's kind of in that same category as the previous lunge, and that is a squat. But once again, so many people make squats not so good for their knees because of misalignments, you guessed it. And what's the other reason? That other reason is putting too much stress on those tissues when you're not yet ready for that amount of tissue tolerance. In other words, if this level of squat doesn't feel good for you, absolutely don't do it. What you should be doing is focusing on the alignment and doing the range of motion that feels very comfortable for you. Whether that's 1 or 2 inches or 1 or 2 feet of range of motion, do what's very comfortable for you. With that being said, here's how you should be doing your squats for best knee health. Your feet should be at about shoulder width, between hip to shoulder width. Feet being parallel is incredibly important. Then you want to once again go back to those toes feeling spread and kind of gripping the floor to create a little bit of arch. Then you want to make sure your knees track with your second and third toe, so they're staying perfectly parallel. The last thing you'd want is anything that looks like this or this. That is really bad stuff for your knee. You want to keep the knees perfectly in line with the second and third toe, and then you want the pelvis to be neutral. So remember, from this view, that's the pelvis not totally tucked under and not a big back arch either, but right there in the center. You're going to apply breathing mechanics, and that's so very important. So as you go down, your rib cage will fill up. Your lower abdomen will naturally come out while the pelvis stays neutral, and you'll send your butt backwards. Gently feel like you're pushing your knees forward and your butt is going backwards. Let me say that again. Gently feel your knees going forward while you're feeling your butt go backwards. And you should only be going to your comfortable range of motion. Breathe in, rib cage fills up, abdomen just naturally comes out. What's happening here is your organs, your actual organs are actually dropping down. Your pelvic floor is relaxing. And before you come up, you contract your pelvic floor, kind of like a Kegel. You draw your abdomen in, your rib cage comes down a little bit. Keep your back straight and drive your butt up and forward. A squat should not be this. You see what I did there? The butt went straight up like this. That's not what you want. What you want is the butt to go up and forward so that when you're done standing, you're in this perfectly aligned postural position, abdomen drawn in, torso upright. You're training your posture, you're training your breathing muscles, you're training your alignment, you're training your pelvis, all to stabilize your body the way it's ideally designed while your knees are doing what they need to do. Because what usually happens with knee dysfunction is your body's getting out of alignment and other tissues and other body areas are not doing what they're supposed to. So your knees start to take the grunt of all that misalignment in other body areas as well. Once again, to finish off, feet parallel, knees in line, pelvis neutral. Breathe in as you exhale, which goes first. Abdomen comes in, you stand as you return your butt back up and forward. Remember, always keep it comfortable. Exercise should be uniquely designed to you and your body. These are 5 great exercises that'll help you optimize the functionality of your knee and overall body alignment. And remember, there's also other areas such as foot and ankle strengthening and hip strengthening and the mobility of all those tissues that are really important to consider for you to have the very best knee functionality. And as always, the most important thing is your functional health. The way you function, the way you feel, the way you move through life, and the way your knees, in this case, are functioning and feeling for you to do all the things you love to do and even improve with age. And I'm excited for the results that I know these exercises will create for you in that area of your life. Lots of love to you, and I'll see you in our next video together. Remember, while you're human, you are also unique. So it's important to always consider the specifics of your own body. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to check out the next one right here. And you can click right here below to subscribe to our channel to get the very best content from our fitness doctor experts.